Says indeed. Hello everybody and welcome to the program. I am Tom Connors. Joining me today, we actually have a crew. We have Greg of FanZcene. How you doing?
Doing good. How are you all this evening?
Doing the best we can. And we also have Valliant Renegade. How are you, sir?
Doing good. Good to be back alive at 5 on a Wednesday afternoon again.
Awesome to have you here. And also joining us now, some of our audience may recognize Mike because I think he was one of the people who sat in for you, Valiant, when you were away for like a few weeks there, if I remember right, on 4K for you. But welcome, Mike. You have a new channel now called Astro Skull Media, correct?
Yeah, right. And I'm going to be doing some reviews and just pretty much anything pop culture, sci-fi, horror related.
Indeed. So yes, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us tonight, and welcome all you guys out in the chat. We got Vader's Bricks Productions. We got Cosmic Squirrel here. I see Rusty Shackelford. As I pointed out before, Max Mercer and Mecha J. We got Coffee Lover. We have Duck Nation here. We got Guy Ender. We have Hester 903. We have Entertainment Wizard. We have KB. We have Tex Florida. So many more of you. Thank you for being here. There's over 70 of you watching thus far. Hit that like button, share out the link, let everybody know that we're live. Hello, Samurai Vader. I see you there. Thank you for being here, guys. We appreciate that. And we've got some news and rumors to talk about today, do we not?
Yes, we do. Not too much, but we got a few.
So why don't we start with let's start with the news, since our main topic is going to be a rumor today. So what do we got for an actual announcements?
The Dr. Caligari, the 80s one, just went on sale from Mondo Macabre or whatever, on 4K on Halloween. So I think it's still available. I'm not really sure, but that is available on 4K now.
They've got a few hundred copies left.
Okay, there you go. So I knew Mike would know that because that's like his speed right there. So that's available now. I know we've talked Death Wish, but did we ever give a date for that here on this channel?
I don't know if we had the date yet last week. What's the date on it?
The date is January 24th for the 4K.
All right.
From Kino Lorber.
Sweet.
So yes, the original Death Wish. Not that Bruce Willis one.
And I'm going to tell you what, speaking of Kino Lorber, after the bullshit I'm having to deal with right now for Usual Suspects and what's that De Palma movie or whatever that just came out they did in 4K?
I know which one you're talking about,
Chick's
but I can't.
legs on the cover.
Yeah, like as
yeah. What was it again, Mike?
Dress to Kill.
Yeah, Dress to Kill. I have not gotten mine from Amazon yet. They're delayed for some reason, but I've seen plenty of people showing theirs online, and I think you even got at least one of those, Mike. I think you showed, if I'm not mistaken. But like, I'm going to start ordering my Kino Lorber titles from Kino. I'm done fucking with Amazon.
I've seen that happen with Amazon quite a few times with Kino titles. Sometimes Kino titles are held back on Amazon longer than they are on Kino.
Does yours still show as not yet shipped?
Yeah, it's just sitting there.
Same as mine.
Yeah, for one, it's weird, Valiant, because it keeps saying we need you to verify you still want this disc or whatever, and I go in and I check the thing and I hit yes or whatever. It won't like register it. It's really weird. So I'm like, I don't know what the fucking deal is, but it always seems to be Kino Lorber or Disney titles, and I know they've had an issue with Disney before. Paramount has had issues all across the board, but for some reason lately with the Kino ones, and whenever I order them from Kino, I get them right away. Right? Like I got I got Tropic Thunder, I think early actually. I got Spaceballs a little early, I think. So from now on, I think I'm just going to go directly through them.
I got Top Gun Maverick a day early, and I got Running Man a day late today.
Do you think that's more of an issue with Amazon just not ordering enough Kino titles, or an issue with Kino themselves?
I don't know if it's one or the other, Mike. It's a good question because 9 times out of 10, I pre-order a lot of stuff as soon as I see it pop up.
Right.
So I got to figure I'm within the first ring or round or whatever. Go ahead, Valiant. Sorry.
No, I was going to say, I mean, if you go to Amazon page right now for the usual suspects, the 4K, it says free delivery November 7th through 9th. Only 9 left in stock. Order soon. So
Jesus Christ.
Where's mine? That I pre-ordered like 3 weeks ago.
I like there was another title that was not too long ago that Kino was releasing, and people were complaining they weren't getting theirs from Amazon. I can't remember the title, but this keeps happening.
Or one of the other ones?
It was one before Tropic Thunder, but I can't remember the title. But I noticed that some people were getting them from Kino, no problem, but then Amazon was holding them up for some reason.
And I think my Mystery Men just shipped out today. Because that's the next one they're putting out, right, Mike? Because that one I did order from them too, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I think Mystery Men's.
Yeah, because I got a thing from them, an email today about a disc coming out. And I think I got, because they sent me the sale items and they said that the other one will come when it's available. We're going to send you your one. They actually sent me an email saying this, that we're going to ship out your one shipment first and then we'll ship the other one at no additional cost when it's available or whatever. So we can get your other movies now.
Huh.
So so they're just shipping that. I think that's what it is that movie. But yeah, no. So from now on, so when that pops up, I'm getting sorry for going on that rampage there.
No problem.
I don't know, Mike. You might be right. Valiant might be right. I don't know if they're not ordering enough or if they're just. Here's the other thing. The problem with Disney and Amazon, it could be a similar thing. Disney and Amazon don't get along because Disney will not give them a deal. That's why they've never seen eye to eye, and they always kind of order like a certain amount and they run out real fast, or they don't get them on the day they're supposed to because they're usually pissing and moaning and fighting about it.
Disney doesn't give anybody a deal. They look at you and they just say, bring money.
Yeah, for a long time, Amazon wouldn't even let you pre-order Disney titles, and that was they did that for years.
Yeah, there was a deal that started about 4 years ago, Mike, I want to say now.
It's been a while. Like they just recently let people start pre-ordering Disney titles.
I mean, I used to get, because what I did for a while, I'd go through Best Buy to get my Disney titles or just go get them from Walmart. Because to order them through Best Buy, either they wouldn't come up there right away or the pre-order would never show up, or you get this stupid thing where, it's delayed for a few weeks or whatever. I just got sick and tired of it. Of course, like a lot of the movies that I stopped ordering most of their movies anyway because I don't like them. A lot of the last few Marvel movies I've imported, and I haven't bought another Marvel movie since Endgame or whatever, I think.
Yeah, I haven't bought one since Endgame myself.
Other than the Spider-Man ones?
Oh, yeah, Spider-Man, but that's like Sony, so. Yeah. That's weird.
So I haven't really had to mess with that part, but no, Walmart doesn't seem to have a problem getting them. Best Buy doesn't seem to have a problem getting them, but Amazon, I know it has to do because they won't do a deal with them. So, but yeah. But anyhow, what else we got?
If anybody's interested, Cloverfield, the original, is getting a 4K steelbook, with one of the little slip covers. Like, all those. Yeah, I pass on it too. That was available January 17th as well. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the Cloverfield stuff, so.
Okay, how can that even be in 4K? Because I guarantee you that was shot on DV cam.
Yeah, I don't know, but we're
talking old school Valiant. Like, I wonder if it's maybe 1080i, but
it's a lot of post processing up conversion. They're just you shove it through Final Cut or DaVinci or Adobe Premiere, and you just do your bicubic sampling and turn it from 1080i to 3840p or whatever the hell they're doing now.
Well, it's ostensibly video, so I don't even see how that's going to help with the high the high dynamic range or anything.
It doesn't. What it allows them to do is put the word 4K on the box, and you buy it.
Yep, and it's not even worth it.
I'm going to predict now. They said January that comes out, Greg?
Yeah, January 17th.
I'm going to predict now that's going to be the next one where people gripe and piss and moan that it's one of the worst 4K ever.
Well, Cloverfield's already out. This is just a Steelbook re-release.
Oh, so it's already been.
It's already been on 4K.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've got.
How did it look?
It looks okay. I mean, it's obviously an upconvert, but you know.
Yeah, I hate that goddamn movie.
Both
Very good.
both the Cloverfield movies got released at the same time.
Okay. What else you got for us, Greg?
Has anybody ever heard of the movie Remains of the Day, starring Anthony Hopkins and Emma Thompson?
That was an Oscar winner.
Yes,
it was in the last Columbia box set, actually.
Oh, was it? It is coming on its own 4K release February 21st, where you can buy it separately. So,
which Columbia box set was that in?
The third one?
I think it was in the second one.
Third one.
Oh, is it?
This says it's coming from Sony.
I don't remember being in the second one.
Yeah. So
I'm pretty sure. Remains of the Day?
Yeah.
Let me look here. I know it was in one of them. Maybe it was the first one. No, it was...
The only one of those sets I have is the second one. I don't remember getting Remains of the Day.
Okay. Maybe it's just... Let's see here. I got them downstairs. I'm not running downstairs. Columbia box. Come on. Okay. So this one, the newest one has It Happened One Night, From Here to Eternity, To Serve with Love, Last Picture Show, Annie, and As Good as It Gets. Okay, we knew that one. The second one has Oliver, Anatomy of a Murder, Taxi Driver, Stripes, Sense and Sensibility. That's what I was thinking. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
Okay,
the social network. Same Sense and Sensibility, Remains of the Day, English Patient. That was all those mid to latter 90s, the artsy fartsy films with basically the same cast in all of them.
They all had Anthony Hopkins in it.
Remains of the Day.
Or Ray Fiennes.
I'm kidding.
Remains of the Day is legitimately a great film, though.
Okay. So
I'm
sorry
not saying
about
the other two weren't
wrong.
bad. Yeah.
And then the first one, just to complete it in case people are curious, had Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, Lawrence of Arabia, Dr. Strangelove, Gandhi, League of Their Own, and Jerry Maguire, which I believe all of them now have been released separately, right? Finally.
Well, Lawrence of Arabia was released on limited edition Steelbook. They haven't released an actual real version of that yet.
Okay. Well, the funny thing about that one is they didn't even have the negative for that. That's from a 70 millimeter print, but it still looks fucking gorgeous, which is amazing. But yeah. So, all right, let's keep going. What else we got?
Okay. Mike might know this one. I hope I say it right. It's coming from Kino Studio Classics, the Asphyx from 1970. The Asphyx?
Yeah, the Asphyx.
Okay, the Asphyx. I was wanting to make sure I said it right. From 1972, that would be Blu-ray, and it will contain the 86-minute UK cut and the extended 99-minute US cut. So if anybody's into that movie, I've never seen it, so I figured Mike might know that one.
Yeah, they've previously released this under the Redemption label, Kino has. So I don't know if this is just a repackaging or if they've gone back and redone the high def version.
It looks like it's just adding a new audio commentaries and all.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's if you're into that. Also from Kino Lorber Studio Classics, the original Italian Job from 1969 is coming to 4K with Michael Caine. I can't do it.
My cocaine.
My cocaine.
Just say my cocaine.
My cocaine.
I got an Italian Job last night. Oh wait, never mind.
I got an Italian job last night. You know how much it cost me?
He was most precious to me as your mother and father.
The size of a tangerine.
Somebody finally watched Bullet Train.
No, I haven't seen it yet. But
son of a bitch!
I'm getting there. No, actually, I think we rumored that a while back, so I'm glad to hear that's finally.
That was finally announced. Yeah. But yeah, that's original with Michael Caine. You can't go wrong with that. The original. And on 4K. So
the remake wasn't all that bad, actually.
No, it really isn't. Edward Norton.
Honest, I'm not even sure if I've seen the original. I think I have a long time ago on like Turner Classic, but yeah.
Yeah, about the same here. I don't know if we brought this one up before, but it's been announced for a while. Is Double Jeopardy from Paramount. I think we had
a rumor for that one.
It's going to be in 4K. It's going to be one of those Paramount Presents titles. Was that, Mike?
I said it's an official announcement, yeah.
Yeah, it's official. It comes out January 17th.
I think that was when we were wondering if that was going to be one of the Kino ones or if Paramount was going to release that on their own.
Yeah, it looks like Paramount is doing their Paramount Presents label. 4K when with the little fold out cover and everything. So yeah, there's that. Then we got the Shout Factory titles that were just announced. Coming January 24th, the Jackie Chan Collection Volume 1 will contain The Killer Meteors, The Shaolin Wooden Men, To Kill with Intrigue, Snake and Crane Arts of Shaolin, Battle Creek Brawl, and Dragon Lord. So that would be the big Jackie Chan Blu-ray box set from Shout Factory. The Wrath of Man starring Jason Statham will be coming out January 17th on 4K.
That one's not even that old, is it? It's only a couple of years, right?
Yeah, that's fairly new, and it's getting a Shout Factory release. So, yeah. And so is Freaky with Vince Vaughn, where the Friday 13th body switch movie, whatever you call it, January 24th.
Really enjoyed Freaky.
It's really not that bad. Didn't think I was going to like it because Blumhouse is really hit and miss, and it is. I will say it's woke, but it knows what it is and it's funny. And Vince Vaughn plays a really great Jason knockoff in the beginning, so it's not too bad.
I heard some good things about it, but I never got a chance to check it out.
It's got some.
It's entertaining.
It's got its moments, but it is woke. I will say it's woke.
And are they doing a sequel? Aren't they doing a sequel to it?
I heard something they might make a sequel. They kind of want to connect it to the Happy Death Day movies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it's the same writer and director or something. And then also the Ouija movie is coming out from Shout Factory on January 10th.
10 years old now, something like that?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you said a new Ouija movie. Okay.
No, I think the one from 10 years ago or whatever.
Yeah, 2014 it says.
Okay.
Yeah. They did make a sequel to it, didn't they?
I think there's 2 or 3 sequels actually. But
really?
There was a couple, but none of them went to theaters though. I think just the first one, and then.
Origin of Evil was a theatrical release, and it's actually really.
Was it?
Origin of Evil? Yeah, Origin of Evil is actually really good.
Really? I don't think I've seen that one.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of them. So
yeah, it's a period film. It takes place a few decades ago, and it's actually a legit good movie. The first Ouija, not so much, but Origin of Evil, legit good flick.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I would take a 4K of Oculus. I'm sorry, I like that movie. No apologies.
I don't think I know that one.
That's a good one too.
Oculus with Karen Gillan.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mike Flanagan.
Hot Karen Gillan.
Yeah, that was Mike Flanagan's breakthrough film.
Yeah, it was a good movie. Interesting. Katie Sackhoff was in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's about a funky, creepy, haunted mirror.
You had me at Katie Sackhoff and Carey Gilliam. I mean,
yeah. It's a great movie. It's great, and I'm gonna say for the record, it's really fun as hell to watch Tom and Flash in chat dragging each other over the Donner Cut. I'm just enjoying the shit out of it.
The Donner Cut is lighting up the chat right now. We're gonna get to that, guys. I know people are waiting. And I actually have a little bit of inside info on that, so we'll get to that. That we're saving for the midsection here because we're getting there. Yeah. We're just finished up the news, and we'll get to the rumors.
Choose your sides now.
Choose your side now.
I'll give you some news. I got The Running Man in 4K on in the background right now.
Nice. I got mine in the mail today. Yep.
I totally forgot that was coming out.
It looks great. It looks so good.
Yeah, I have to pick that up pretty soon.
Right there. Also today, I got this as too. I know. Mike should know what this is.
See, I didn't even know that was.
Yeah, that's Mike Felsher's documentary, Just Desserts. That is a great documentary.
I'm assuming
Mike Felsher, Red Shirt Pictures, he does great work. You've seen Mike Felsher's stuff all over Shout Factory releases.
Nice.
Yeah, he does.
I got Top Gun Monday.
He specializes in doing special features for companies.
Oh, you already opened yours?
Oh, I'm watching it right now. It's on back here.
So it's got a slip cover over the steelbook. I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, isn't there supposed to be some cards and shit with it and stuff too, or something?
Apparently, no. This was it. It was dry. It's just now. There's no Blu-ray copy. It's strictly a 4K disc. That's it.
I'll tell you
I'm not sure how I feel about that because Paramount's been doing that a lot lately. And I'm not really sure how I feel about that.
I've already got it digitally through iTunes, so I ain't bitching too much. But
yeah, I have the digital version in 4K.
Yeah.
So I might give mine away eventually, but no, I ordered the fucking Highlander box set from 3 different places.
One of them will show up first.
I just make sure. I did cancel the one from Zabi. I'm like, that fucker's not showing up anyway. So
there can be only one. Which one?
Remember Remember it said that, oh, got excited because they were processing it like a fucking month ago. They're still sitting there processing. I'm like, fuck you, cancel. Because Amazon UK just sent mine out like a week ago, so it should, or a few days ago. So hopefully it should be here soon.
Amazon UK, I'm still working my way through the 4K Police Story box set.
Oh yeah,
it looks gorgeous. It looks absolutely exquisite. I'm blown away by what a job they did. And just to flash his comment in the chat, he brings up a good point. I never watched the Blu-ray. Oh Lord, here comes Renegade Jr. again, who was throwing up like The Exorcist all last night, and now he's on here. But Flash mentioned the Blu-ray was terrible. Well, this was a new scan. So Flash, what I was hoping for was to replace, and I agree with you, the 2013 or 14 Blu-ray version was junk. So I was kind of hoping that they were going to take this newly minted version of a 4K scan and then compress it down to a new Blu-ray copy. That didn't happen. No. I mean, not in here.
Yeah, they didn't include a Blu-ray copy.
Oh, I didn't even.
Yeah, I was hoping they were going to replace that with, okay, here's the.
Who put it out?
Blu-ray
Paramount or
Lionsgate?
Lionsgate. Yeah.
Yep. Speaking of Zavi, I just got this last week.
I ordered that from UK too. That mine shipped out today.
Yeah, that's the 4K video drum. Criterion will probably be doing this themselves.
I have the Criterion.
I thought about it. Yeah, I wasn't going to get it at first because the price here was like $40-$50 if you bought it through Zavi or whatever it was. And then I saw Amazon UK had it up for like 21 or 27. I can't remember which, but I ended up getting it for pretty cheap, shipped and everything. I'm like, shit, it was still like $10 cheaper than what Zavi was going to cost.
I ordered it and Robin Hood Prince of Thieves at the same time, and I think I paid $70 altogether with shipping.
Yeah. I got Robin Hood through the UK. I usually just go through Amazon UK, even though I have to pay for.
Yeah, because Robin Hood's a UK only title.
Well, I think the reason I have more luck with Amazon is that I think they don't have the issues with customs that everybody else does. Get what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, I'll tell you though, if you order through Diabolic DVD, they are a great US-based company. They do a lot of import business.
I think I've gotten stuff from them already once before, because I think when it was either you or somebody else pointed me towards when they did Megaforce before, because I know it's coming here now, but was that you, Mike?
Yeah. Quite possibly.
I think that's where I ordered that through.
Quite possibly because I've been singing their praises for years.
Maybe it was you, Greg.
Is Orbit DVD and Diabolic is what I. Yeah.
Yeah, because I asked if you trust. You're like, yeah, I've ordered from them before. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I got a few movies because I liked that they had imports and stuff. So.
And they let you know when the slip is on and when it's not.
But yeah, I got a raw deal in the mail yesterday. The only thing I got a bitch about is the case was crushed.
Oh.
Yeah, they used to send me review titles in exchange for advertising their site years ago.
Nice.
Cool. So what else you got for us, Greg, so we can get to the main topic here before the chat tears itself apart?
Maybe I should save this Zack Snyder one for right before the Superman talk.
Get it going.
No, we're going to save that one for next week. Come back next Wednesday. We'll talk about the Zack Snyder show.
Yeah.
Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead is coming to 4K from Shout
Factory. No real surprise.
Yeah.
Isn't the version they released recently from a 4K scan?
It looks like it's only the unrated director's cut or whatever it is going to be the 4K. The regular theatrical cut's still Blu-ray. So.
Okay, so they're flip-flopping the Tropic Thunder thing. That pissed me off.
Yeah.
Because Tropic Thunder, and I guarantee you it was fucking Paramount that did this. Because the unrated cut of Tropic Thunder comes from a 4K scan, but it's on a Blu-ray.
Yeah.
So that tells me that you know what Paramount's going to do in about a year. They're going to release another version of it with either just the unrated version on 4K or both versions on 4K is what they're going to do.
Crazy.
What do you think, Mike? You think that's what they'll probably do? Dirty bastards they are.
Likely.
Yep.
This is something I'm really getting tired of lately is Blu-ray and then a little bit later 4K.
That's the other thing. We had a whole show where we bitched about that with Paramount.
Yeah, they've been doing a lot of that lately. It's not just Paramount, but a lot of people have been.
Yeah, they are. But Paramount's the worst offender. That was the one thing we brought up. But go ahead, keep going there.
I'll just list off these rumors real quick because what I got left is no confirmation, just rumors. So we got Texas Chainsaw Massacre will probably finally be making its U.S. debut sometime in 2023 from Dark Sky Films.
Yeah, that's confirmed from Dark Sky.
Okay, that's confirmed. I don't have a date on it though, but okay, that's confirmed.
Now, in cahoots with Synapse, or are they the same company?
No, Dark Sky Films is their own company.
Yeah,
somebody was told me Synapse was putting it out.
No, it's Dark Skies held the license for Texas Chainsaw Massacre for over.
So it's gonna be. I guarantee you, it's gonna be the same exact fucking scan as the one from Turbine.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Possibly, but I wouldn't 100% bet on it.
Well, Dark Sky's version of their Blu-ray is the same as the 4K scan. So.
I mean, it could be, but Dark Sky isn't like some fly-by-night company, though.
No. But I mean, for the U.S. people who have not got my point is if you already have the Turbine version, I don't think it's going to be much different. In fact, it'll probably have less special features because that's usually what the case is. Because my imports have all the same special features plus more as compared to my Dark Sky version I have. Because it doesn't have, because I ended up buying a family portrait separately, and then it ended up being on that Turbine import.
Nice. Don't you love when that happens?
No, that's just a making of the
the making of it. But we also got rumored Brotherhood of the Wolf coming into 4K sometime next year, which that's a rumor. That Shout just did that on Blu-ray not too long ago.
Yeah, that was a terrible Blu-ray.
Was it?
I was really disappointed with the transfer on that.
Well, it might be coming to 4K soon. It looks like that might be coming soon. And then the RIPD with Jeff Bridges and Ryan Reynolds looks like it's getting a still book sometime in December. It doesn't say if it's Blu-ray. Oh, it says 4K. 4K, yeah. 4K for that. Alfred Hitchcock's To Catch a Thief looks like it's coming to 4K sometime soon. And Tootsie, starring Dustin Hoffman, looks like it may be coming from Sony on 4K.
I called it.
Yep, sometime soon. And that seems to be it for the titles other than the big one that we're going to talk about here soon.
Tootsie, I'm not surprised.
Because
Criterion. You're surprised Sony's doing it?
Yeah, I figured Criterion would.
Criterion paid for the 4K so Sony could do it.
Well, I figured. Well, that's when I knew Criterion had paid for the 4K, but I figured they'd be putting it out themselves. So
let's just say I've been in talks with some of these boutique companies. I'm starting to get to know how the sausage is made a little bit better.
Okay. Speaking of boutique companies, 88 Films out of the UK just announced 3 Italian titles for 4K that are UK only releases. One of them is, can you share my screen, Tom? And I'll show the artwork.
Yeah, because I noticed that also the same thing with Army of Darkness. I'm not going to be surprised if Universal releases a version that has the international cut in 4K as well, because that was scanned but not available in the version, even though I think originally Shout had said that it was going to be. Ark of the Sun God.
Yeah, Ark of the Sun God. This is kind of like a Raiders of the Lost Ark type adventure movie from the, I believe, 1984 by Antonio Margheriti. And we got The Hell of the Living Dead, which is a notoriously bad zombie film that is highly entertaining.
Mike loves his.
Yeah, this movie is.
Is that Patrick Stewart on the cover?
No,
in the hat.
He's so lucky to be in
this
film.
Sorry, it's not Patrick Stewart.
It was a joke. I mean,
this is
Bruno Patrick Stewart. Sorry, it's not him.
It looks like it though.
This is probably Bruno Mattei's most infamous film. It's hilariously bad. And then we got Ruggero Dedato's House on the Edge of the Park, which is pretty notorious. Got David Hess from The Last House on the Left.
I remember hearing about this one.
Yeah. But those are coming from 88 Films. Those are UK only releases as far as I know. So the 4Ks will be region free, but no word on yet if the included Blu-rays are all region or not.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get to the big news. First of all, I have not been able to find this, but I guess some people said that Superman 3 popped up on Amazon, the 4K version. I have not been able to find it, so I can't verify that. But what I can verify is now I've heard from a couple places of what's going on. Since everybody already knows, we already have the first film, the theatrical cut in 4K of Superman. I was told everything. And I mean, what do you mean about everything? I couldn't get a verification, so that could very well mean everything. Both versions of the first film that haven't been released in 4K, although I doubt it will be the TV version, probably just the Donner recut from a few years back. The thing is, and the reason why I wonder if they're not releasing Superman 3 and then maybe we'll see like Superman 4 and Superman 2, the theatrical cuts drop here pretty soon is what I'm guessing. Because if they're doing the Donner cut, unless they've been working on it, they have to reconstruct that fucker from top to bottom. because that was done so long ago.
Yeah.
I think they even still did at that time. Not only would they have to rescan it, they'll have to redo all the special effects and all that shit, because all these older ones are so old that they come from like a telecine fucking scan.
That's old school.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the capabilities there to do it. Do they have the willpower, and do they want to spend the resources to do it? Do they have the licensing to be able to do it? I mean, is it, to redo the Donner cut? I mean, I know Flash was asking about that in the chat earlier as well. Can they even do the Donner cut again?
Yeah, Donner cut was what?
Theoretically, yes, they can. It's just a matter of, do they have the rights to do it? Can they? Because I think they still have all the pieces and parts, but it's like you said, Tom, they have to just reassemble everything from scratch.
Well, it's a little bit more complicated than that, because as far as the rights, I don't think that's an issue. The part I think is going to be an issue, because as I was saying, all those old Blu-rays and DVDs we had of Superman were from older scans. They're from telecine scans. They weren't from true scans like we do now. So like they're going to have to rescan all the stuff. Now, theoretically, they could scan all the negative stuff for both versions of Superman 2 at the same time and rebuild, because they technically have to, when they do the scans on the negatives, they technically have to rebuild these films again. Not completely, but it's pretty close. Like you have to put all the right shots in order, right? That's how we wind up with these fucking problems when Criterion had two of the same shot in A Hard Day's Night on the 4K cut, but not the Blu-ray. So like they don't have to redo all the transitions or the special effects, but what they do have to do, at least with the regular ones, is scan them all in 4K, true 4K from the negative. Then the opticals are done in a run and put it all back together with the soundtrack. Unfortunately, with the Donner cut, though, there's a bunch of CGI effects in it that were done modern day at that time. And there's no fucking way they're going to hold up in 4K.
Yeah.
So they would have to do what they did for the theatrical or the motion picture of Star Trek, basically, and rebuild it all over again now. Now, they may be able to do a shortcut depending on what system they use to put it together. Maybe they can just kind of like make the system go, okay, take these files instead of those files and put those in there. But then that's still not going to fix the problem of the special effects. So yeah, they could scan all the elements and get the film parts. So they could just do a shortcut and just convert those effects, but I don't know how it's going to look. Again, I have a feeling that the Donner cut might not hit 4K. I'm just saying that right now. I don't know that for sure. All I know is that I was told everything and I couldn't get any specifics other than that. Because other than that, there's only the theatrical cuts anyway, besides the first two films. But I would assume it's probably a good guess, since they're doing everything. I'm thinking, okay, they're probably going to do some kind of super box set down the road too. If not,
probably like the Batman thing.
Kind of, yeah. But they didn't really add anything or do anything to that either. That was just a straight,
just
whatever.
Straight 4Ks.
Yeah, the movies were just the movies on the discs, and then all the special features were on the Blu-rays. They were just the old Blu-rays they threw in there. Which were all the stuff from the DVDs originally. So, so at this point, I mean, and there's a lot of special features. I'd imagine they carry them all over. They'll probably just have Blu-ray versions thrown in there, the old ones. And these are just probably the movies themselves. I can't tell you anything more than that, but I got to assume that all 4 movies are coming out in 4K and probably a longer cut of the first film. I'd imagine the 2-hour, 27-minute cut or whatever it is. It's on the one before we got the TV cut.
What is that called? Is that the extended or director's cut? I don't even remember what that one's called.
I think it's just called the extended cut.
There's a special edition.
Yeah, whatever it is. Yeah. The one that's more widely available than on Blu-ray.
Yeah. What about Superman Returns?
That's a funky one. I tried to get an answer on that, couldn't get a straight answer, because going back to what we were talking about with Cloverfield earlier, Valiant knows what I'm talking about. Superman Returns was shot in 1080i.
Oh, that makes sense.
There's no real reason to put that in 4K, to be honest with you.
No. When was that movie? That was
2006, I think.
Wait, was it that long ago now? Oh my God.
Yep.
Yeah,
that was in that transitory period where they were going from everybody using traditional Panavision, Panaflex cameras with Kodak or Fuji film stock in it.
I'm pretty sure
they were starting
it was shot digitally.
Yeah, they were starting to experiment with digital cameras. Like we talked about this a few weeks ago with the original Avatar in 2009, when they filmed that movie in 07 and probably into 08, they were starting to experiment with the Sony digital video cameras that were 1080i. So if that's the case, then I guess they did that with Superman Returns as well. But yeah, and that's you're stuck. There's nothing you can really do. You can upconvert it, but you're not really going to gain anything unless they put an HDR grade on it and retweak a few things. But as far as detail enhancement,
this is it's stuck in 1080p. This was shot on HD cam, DV cam.
Jeez.
That sounds like Avatar. Yeah.
35 millimeter for high speed shots. That's it.
Right. And because they'd had to do that, because at that point, even in 1080, those digital cameras, you did not have processors that were fast enough that could dissipate the heat to do the high speed frame rates. Yeah.
They did do IMAX blow-ups, 70 millimeter blow-ups, but I'm curious how they looked. I bet you they looked a little faded and soft.
All I know is I think Brandon Routh was a great Superman. I really do, but I just really couldn't get into that movie. Yeah, I would like to have seen him got a chance. I really would, because I think he was
like divorced or whatever. Superman was divorced.
Technically, he was married, but he had a kid out of what? They had a kid together. Crown's Double. The main news is we are, as far as I know, getting Superman 2, 3, and 4 in 4K. I can't verify anything farther than that, but I was told everything, but I wasn't given any specifics. So that could very well mean the longer cut of Superman 1 and possibly the Donner cut. But that's about as far as I'd go. And that I'd put in a big, big maybe category. But I can almost confirm that we will be getting the Superman movies next year in 4K, which I'm not surprised. It's kind of overdue with Warner Brothers, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah, I'll just go ahead and come out and say it. I could care less if the Donner cut hits 4K.
You're the only one on the panel that I'm just
Boom.
I'd like to have it, but it's not going to kill me if it doesn't show up. Just give me at least Superman 2. Give me at least the OG Superman 2.
I will probably only ever watch the Donner cut again for the audio commentary. That's about it.
No,
I'm not going to say I liked it better. I just I like it was different, right? And it was kind of fun to watch it being different, but
to me the Donner cut was so much better.
Well,
and I
debatable.
Too.
I grew up in Superman 2. I saw Superman 2 several times in the theater. It's just the Donner cut is too foreign for me to watch now. There's too many differences. It's not an enjoyable experience for me to sit there and watch that movie.
The only thing I would change, the only thing I have to gripe about it, because to me otherwise it's like perfect. It almost made me fucking cry the first time I saw it. The only thing I didn't like, and I agree with Yellow Flash on, is the ending. Either he should have used the TV ending like his original instinct was, or did another version of the first film to go along with this to where it had a different ending for the first movie, because that's the only thing I don't like. And I don't like that he goes back to the cafe at the end, even though that's in the script. Script doctor and I all checked it all out. But to me, that after seeing the Donner cut and then trying to watch the theatrical cut again was like trying to watch a cartoon compared to a live action film. It was like, oh my God, this is like too fucking weird. There's too much bad humor in it, and the beginning to me is so superior to the Paris opening. And I love the back and forth between Lois and Clark and her trying to figure out he's Superman. Like, I love all that stuff in comparison to the version we got. And the stuff in Niagara Falls was so ridiculous in comparison. I get it, though. It's not a complete film, really, but yeah.
The Lester cut has the best line in either version of the movie, though. And it's not in the Donner cut.
What? Why do you say these things to me when you know I'll kill you for it?
No. General, would you care to step outside?
Step outside. He says something a little different.
He says, have you never heard of freedom of the press?
Yeah.
That's what is in the Donner cut. Step outside is in the Lester cut. That's the best line in the whole damn movie.
Yeah.
I enjoy both cuts.
I can't really watch the theatrical anymore, but
yeah, see, I'm the opposite. I watched the Donner cut once when I originally got it on DVD. I go without it. So
It's got Brando in it, though.
Just make him an offer he can't refuse.
Yeah, but they say that's another special effect they're going to have to redo, though, for that Donner cut.
I know. That's why I don't think it's going to happen. So either way, regardless of my feelings and most people's feelings, I just don't see that happening. If it was going to happen, they probably would be making a big deal out of it coming up because
I got yellow flash in my corner.
That's about it. You think you're so cool just because you got yellow flash in your corner. I got the rest of the chat.
Hey, I like them. I've watched them both multiple times, the Donner and the theatrical cut. I like them both. But unfortunately, I do have to go. So
yeah, we're going to be wrapping this up anyway. We got a couple super chats before we go. So thanks for being here, Greg. I know you have to leave early, but I will be heading over to your channel this evening, correct?
Yes, this evening for the Physical Media Show.
About.
All right.
It's funny we talked about Texas Chainsaw because that's going to come up.
Oh, I've been meaning to get on that. I have to get that before it's too late.
Oh yeah, it's worth it. All right, we'll talk to you soon, buddy.
I'll see you guys later. Thanks. Hell to the chat.
Take care.
All right, let's grab these super chats here. We got Ken and Faladero who says, "Hi all, question: do you have any info on the 4K release of the 1959 Ben-Hur? Seems like it would be a no-brainer to show off HDR and the super sharp image." My question would be, do they have the negatives? Because wasn't that Blu-ray that they did a while back, Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, quite the reconstruction in and of itself?
Yeah, that just the Blu-ray was a miracle in and of itself. So we'll see on a 4K.
Yeah, I don't know how they scanned it then or what's available. If there's a good 70 millimeter blow up out there somewheres, did they shoot that in 70 millimeter? So it wouldn't technically be a blow up is why I'm asking.
I'm not 100% sure on that.
I know it's a huge widescreen movie. So there might be some elements out there that would make a decent 4K, but my guess is that the reason we haven't had it yet is because they just haven't been able to do it yet. Now, who owns that? Is that Paramount or is that Universal? I'm trying to remember.
Warner Brothers.
Is it Warner?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah, I got to imagine if Warner could, they would have done it already. That's my guess on that one. We'll never know until we see. I haven't heard anything recently, though. Then Dearest sent us a super sticker. I didn't see what it was, but it's probably either popcorn or a thumbs up. Thank you for that, Dearest. We got Gabe A, who says, which line do you like better? Haven't you heard of the Freedom Press or General? Do you care to step outside? Well, we already know Mike's answer to that. I like the do you care to step outside, but it doesn't bother me as much as some other changes do in other versions of movies, I'd say. There's worse things. I miss certain other lines more, maybe, I guess, in the movie, if anything. I mean, I'm not saying the Donner cut's perfect, but it's just since seeing that, to me, it's just two different worlds. I don't know. But it sounds like the theatrical people will probably get their wish anyway, I'd imagine. So what about you, Valiant?
As far as
the line, which one do you prefer?
Honestly, I didn't really pay attention that close to notice that one was different or missing from the other. But I mean, General, do you care to step outside? That is a pretty good one.
A lot of the deal is with that, and this is why I let it go probably more so than other times, is because I know Donner, that even though there were certain things he preferred that were in the movie, even if it was stuff he shot, he used alternate takes. So it wasn't the same version that was in the other cut. And that's probably one of those.
Okay.
If I had to take a guess. So there you go. Orville Nation sent us a super sticker. Let me see if I can see what it is still. That one might not be so far back. Let's see here. It is... No. Oh, there it is. It's Piss Bump. Thank you, PJ. Thank you for hanging in there. We appreciate that. We got your Muslim uncle who says, because this rocks and my wallet will be empty. Well, hopefully you didn't empty your wallet on us. But thank you for the support, my friend, and glad to see you, your Muslim uncle. And yes, thank you, PJ says, hit that like for Tom and for these guys too. And do check out their channels, as Mike's pointed out here. Sub to his channel. Sub to Valliant Renegade if you haven't yet. Was there any new releases that you two wanted to discuss real quick before we headed out that you may have gotten this week?
The only new release I got this week was Top Gun. I think that's been talked to death.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm sure you guys had a thing to do or two to say about that. I haven't even cracked mine open yet.
I haven't opened mine yet. I need to because it showed up on Halloween afternoon. I had other things to do. So I'm watching The Running Man, but I had already bought that on digital as well. So I'm anxious to see some of the nuanced differences on the physical media. Obviously, much better bit rate. So
it's reference quality. It is the reference disc for this year.
That's what I've heard.
I would imagine so.
Yeah, and I did get Raw Deal in the mail. Like I said, I did notice. I mean, I'm not happy that they clearly don't have the negative all together for Raw Deal, but at least they told us that in the beginning of the movie. It has a little disclaimer at the front that says that they took the best elements they could aside from what remained of the negative to put together that 4K presentation. So I haven't got a chance to watch it yet. I just kind of plugged it in just to take a quick look at it. And yeah, so hopefully I'll be able to tell you guys next week how that looked on top of some of these other newer ones. So yeah, but you didn't get to watch anything else, guys, offhand?
Like, no, I mean, Running Man looks great, and I'm looking forward to watching Top Gun Maverick. I'll probably wait till the weekend when I actually have time to sit down and just enjoy it again. But no, yeah, I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I think, I forget what it's on. It's not physical media, unfortunately, but I do want to see Weird.
That starts Friday, doesn't it? Or tomorrow?
I think it's tomorrow.
I thought it was Friday.
I thought it was November 3rd.
No, maybe tomorrow night.
Yeah,
maybe it is tonight. Who knows?
The Weird Al Yankovic story.
I don't have the Roku channel, so I have no idea.
I imagine you just have a Roku app I can download onto an Apple TV, and because of the Roku channel itself, I think is not a pay channel. I don't think.
I don't know.
Roku channel? No, it's not.
Let me know, because I have no idea. John Coppola, the term reference quality. This is probably one for Valiant, since you used to work in the industry that would use such movies.
Yeah, I mean, anything in terms of reference quality or reference grade is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It is something that you would use as the best of the best, as a reference example of what a given thing should look like. So if you say that Top Gun Maverick is the reference quality grade release of the year, it means that this is the highest level of standard that you could have in a transfer to a physical media format, in this case on 4K, where it's basically lossless.
Yeah.
Tom and I talked about this the last couple of weeks because most of the film itself, even the effects, were done largely in camera. Yeah. I mean, there was not a lot of green screening, if much any at all. Maybe some stuff with the Dark Star. The explosions were largely real. They had a cockpit, with 6 Sony cameras using different angles and different different depths of field, everything. They just shot it all together and they picked apart. They did not do a lot of post-production digital VFX. So this was 4K straight through.
Yeah, they did like some reskinning of the planes with digital effects, but the planes themselves were actually real.
Yeah.
Yeah. They just reskinned them a little bit, but yeah. This is the disc that you would walk into Best Buy, and this is what they're playing on all the televisions.
Right. This is the thing that makes you buy the TV set.
I was going to say, like, back in the day, the original film was a lot of the time where they would have playing on a home theater.
Yep.
Top Gun and Star Wars were two reference quality movies usually that you'd have because they have a lot of sound effects going on in the soundtrack.
A lot of surround sound systems with Top Gun in Dolby Surround on Laserdisc.
Yeah.
They went to the danger zone. That's what reference quality would mean. So thank you for asking that question. I thought that was a good question.
Yep.
We have Pizza Magic-y Fool. Is that what it is? Pizza Magic-y Fool. I think I'm right. It says, I'm late to the party. Will the original sound mix be included for the first time in the 4K release? I would hope they would fix that problem if that's the case, because now the TV cut has the original soundtrack included. It's really tinny, but it does have the soundtrack included. And it's all the original sound effects. And what Pizza's talking about here is, for those who don't know, Warner has been very guilty of, for the past almost 2 decades, of replacing sound effects in their 5.1 mixes. And then instead of including the original 2.0 track, they'll usually just fold down that 5.1 mix into a 2.0 track. In fact, people got so up in arms about it with Mad Max Road Warrior in the recent release that they supposedly fixed that. And I think Thunderdome also had that problem. But this is Batman is another movie that people have griped about. And it's usually just guns and cars and certain other sound effects they replace. I can see only two reasons for it, and this is the best I've gotten out of people that I can give an answer for this. Is because for the surround mix, they want something with bigger boom or more of a sound field than they have access to at that time in the original soundtrack. Or B, they don't have the original stems and they can't separate shit and they don't know where the fucking tracks are for the original stuff. So they have no idea what the hell was used on it. That's my guess. One of those two things usually. What do you guys think?
Yeah, anybody's guess, man. I mean, I don't know how. Sometimes they just want to add something that's, they didn't have a great Foley recording of something back then, and they feel like, yeah, we can make it more realistic with a more modern, better recorded gunshot or something. And so they make subtle changes like that to, in their minds, try to enhance the viewer's experience at the end of the day.
Yeah, pet peeve of mine for years has been when studios don't include like the original audio track and the original, stereo or mono. That's just always been a pet peeve of mine.
Yeah, and I can understand that. I'm usually somebody who appreciates a newer soundtrack that's been recalibrated for today's sound systems, but I'm not a fan of redoing sound effects. And that was one, I can't remember which title it was, but I remember seeing basically that excuse was given that why they didn't have the original sound effects on the track was because they didn't know where the fuck they were in their library. They had probably been used for something else, so that original track was pulled from there, and Lord knows where the fuck it's at, and they didn't have separate stems. And for those who don't know what stems are, they have separate tracks where the voice is on one track, and whatever on set noises they picked up and added to the soundtrack are usually there. And then they have another track that has just the sound effects, and that can be spread up to 5 tracks depending on what kind of sound mix they did. And then they have another track just for music. That's another stem. And that can be separated in up to 5.1 or more tracks depending on how they did the mix. So you have all these various stems that usually are made for a film on their first when they're put together. Now, throughout the years, if they lose these stems or they lose those soundtracks with the multiple tracks on them, 9 times out of 10, they can't recreate them just with what they have there. So they may have access to like the original vocal track and obviously the music, which is generally delivered in a different situation, but they may not have all the sound effects or something like that. And I think that's sometimes what happens in some of these cases. So, and maybe some of those things they can pull off a track maybe, or if that track's damaged, that could also be a problem. Or it's just lost altogether, depending on how it was put together. That's the best I can give on that. But hopefully they will include the original soundtracks on these releases. There's no excuse to be doing these lazy down converts of the 5.1 meg.
Yeah, Doba Fett in the chat pointed out a notoriously bad one. The Terminator did a lot of swapping and sound effects.
Yep, that's another one. And I think that might be the one where I was talking about where I think they lost that... They lost that stem, or they lost the sound effects, so they couldn't recreate that stem, I should say. That I think is one, because that had a mono mix originally anyway, believe it or not. And then I think it got a stereo mix then for video, and I think a theatrical re-release.
The Laserdisc has the original mono on it.
Yeah, and I think the old DVD had the mono on it, if I'm not mistaken. But
that one I can't remember, That one I can't remember, but I still have my original Laserdisc, so I know it has the mono track.
Yeah. So there you go. There's various reasons for that, but you'd be surprised at how often they find that they just can't find the shit. Like that's something Robert Meyer Burnett has talked about a lot, where they're looking, like he found stuff for the TNG show in other shows. Like, yeah, because they had them for clips and stuff, and they just took them right from the other stuff. So they were like just missing shots and shit. It was crazy. So yeah, but it is a kind of a complicated mess, Dr. Coffinail. So I don't wish it on anybody, and that's where I can understand how sometimes these problems can happen. But what I don't understand is how they get through quality control. And if they'd use guys like us more often for quality control, I don't think they'd have that problem. Crom's Devil says, Tom, if you remember, the original Superman DVD had an option to watch the film with just the soundtrack and no dialogue. I need the 4K to have that because it's awesome. I'm surprised they didn't carry the soundtrack only, the music soundtrack only over, to be honest with you. I could think of a reason why they might not, especially with a movie like Superman. I think prior to like what 2-3 years ago, maybe, if somebody else knows, because I got it like there's a 3-disc edition of Superman they finally released that had all the music finally on it. So maybe that's why they didn't want to impede on the sales of that. Because prior to that, you only had the regular soundtrack, which had most of the music, but not all the music. But to get these movies anymore where they have a music only track is getting rare, it seems like, unless you go through the boutique companies.
That's another one that's another special feature that I sorely miss is isolated score tracks are getting fewer and fewer, far between.
Yeah.
It's just not a special feature that most people care about. So,
they probably have to pay extra for it too, to the,
they got to pay extra to the composer and everything for it too. And it's just, it's not worth it a lot of times in their eyes, but yeah, I do.
It also depends if they have that stem probably too.
True, but most of the time the score is not really a problem.
No, not really. That's what I said. That's usually not the issue. The only movie I know of that being an issue with, believe it or not, was Halloween. Because I guess because they did it originally on these old ass computers, so they didn't have the original tracks. So when they came around to doing the soundtrack, he had Alan Howarth just redo it. So
the original Criterion Laserdisc of Halloween has a score and effects track.
Does it really?
It exists. Oh yeah. Yeah, I still
but they didn't have one separate. Too. They didn't. What they did though, because see, I have the new Mondo one that came out like 2 years ago. So for that one, because that's the first time they ever released the official original soundtrack from the movie, they literally took it from that stem that you're talking about.
Right.
That's what I was about to say. Because they didn't have it. They didn't have them. It's on there, but it's like they didn't have the original tracks, so they couldn't separate it in stereo. So it's still in mono. And I guess I don't know what they've done over the years as far as making it in stereo for the subsequent releases, if they just faked it or what, but yeah, so it's a mono record. It's only one channel, but
yeah, I'm really surprised.
It's funny though, because you can faintly hear the sound effects in the background.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised, but not that they haven't issued an isolated score for Halloween again, because it was a Criterion release that has it, and Criterion is usually pretty stingy about licensing out their extras.
That may be where the track is, and they didn't know that. Maybe somebody had it and never gave it back, and then because if they did it for Laserdisc, that would be before the days of digital where they would just shipped it over on a hard drive. So
it could be.
Because that's the other thing that because again, I can't say who, but we've talked to some boutique people. We got some stuff we're gonna announce eventually, then I can. But and that's one thing we've learned is how often this shit is scattered all over the fucking place. And a lot of the time is spent just curating it all, finding the different soundtracks, or if they can't find a soundtrack, they may have to produce one, and shit like that.
And you know what the real bitch of it is? The only Star Wars movie that has an isolated score. You know what it is?
Probably one of the newer films, if not the prequels.
It's the fucking Last Jedi.
What?
On iTunes, there is an isolated score track for The Last Jedi.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Because nobody bought the soundtrack, probably.
I don't know. Roundhead Johnson probably had something to do with having the isolated score track.
Yeah. Jammin' John Claus, this would be super cool to have as a bonus disc on a Blu-ray with the TV cut of the first film, to have the TV cut of Superman 2. That would be cool. If they could scan it like they did the other one. Tinny soundtrack and all. It was kind of nice to hear the original sound effects again after all these years. I will admit that. Yeah, the TV version is a little bit of a watch. There's a lot of stuff in it. You can see why Donner didn't include all that in his special edition. So yeah. But yeah, no, I think that wraps her all up, kids. What do you say? Is there anything else you guys wanted to discuss before we go?
I think we covered it all.
Yeah, nothing off the top of my head.
All right. Well, with that, let's wrap it up here. Take care of yourselves and each other. We will see you next time. And don't forget.
I got molested in a little boy's room.
No, it didn't. No. Damn lies.
We knew it was you.